Live in Studio B with your day-to-day BYU Sports play-by-play alongside Jarom Jordan. I'm Spencer Linton. Yes, this is BYU Sports Nation in the new year of 2024. And joining us now to help BYU basketball tip off Big 12 play on the men's side is Jon Rothstein of CBS Sports, elite college basketball analyst. Jon, welcome to BYU Sports Nation.
Guys, great to be with you. Happy New Year.
I think we're all trying to figure out just how good this BYU basketball team really is. And if I can offer some insight into the collective BYU fan base, I think they're concerned that maybe BYU's a paper tiger. But, Jon, they've been so good in all of these metrics. What do you think of the Cougars and their 12-1 non-conference start and how they match up against the Big 12?
Well, BYU right now is in position to be in position. Now, what does that mean? BYU has done the necessary work during the non-conference portion of the schedule to put itself in position to make the 2024 NCAA tournament. Now, a big hope for that is going to depend on how BYU plays at home in Provo at the Marriott Center, which you guys know better than I do, is one of the great home court advantages of college basketball. But if BYU can be a dominant home team, it has done enough early on to hear its name called on Selection Sunday.
What's sustainable, in your opinion, about what BYU has done so far that could translate into Big 12 play despite it being significantly tougher?
Tremendous balance. 7 players on this roster average between 9.1 points per game and 16 points per game. And the guy who leads BYU in scoring, Jackson Robinson, comes off the bench in a reserve role. So that type of balance is really difficult to prepare for. But we are looking right now at a new chapter of BYU basketball. You know, I still believe this, and I will say this, ad nauseum. I think that the BYU team in 2020 that had TJ Hawes, Yoli Childs, Jake Toulson was good enough to go to a Final Four. And I remember late in that year, prior to COVID shutting everything down, BYU had an incredible win against Gonzaga at home. Every single game that the Cougars are going to play from now until Selection Sunday in Provo will have that type of an atmosphere. That is the best way to kind of give fans in Provo a sample of what's to come over the next 2 months.
Let's go.
I was having a good day until I thought about the 2020-21 team. And little tears going to come out of my face here.
Jon Rothstein is with us on BYU Sports Nation. Let's play the hypothetical game, Jon. I'm looking at Iowa State last year, who was a good basketball team. They finished 500 in Big 12 play in a loaded Big 12 conference. They were a 6 seed. Is it safe to say or fair to say that BYU goes 9-9 in Big 12 play, couple that with what they've done in the non-conference? Would that be good enough to get BYU, let's say, a 5 or a 6 seed?
Well, guys, I think you have to look at also the fact that West Virginia was sub 500 last year in Big 12 regular season conference games and was in an 8-9 game against Maryland in the NCAA tournament. I mean, we have to remember and we have to remind ourselves of this, and I think this is important for the fan base of BYU. Your conference record has no bearing on whether or not you are going to make the NCAA tournament. The overall body of work is what matters most to the NCAA tournament selection committee, and that's why BYU's performance, beating San Diego State, winning neutral site games against power conference opponents in Las Vegas over Thanksgiving, that is what put the Cougars in position to be in position. But guys, you know as well as I do, this is only January.
Yeah, we've got time. We haven't even seen the Big 12 play quite yet. We're excited about the Cincinnati game on Saturday. Cincinnati comes in as a team that has played well in non-conference, 11-2, but doesn't have a quad 1 or 2 win. What do you think of that matchup for these two in their first Big 12 games ever?
You know, Cincinnati has only played so many games of significance this season. Think about this, guys. The only time that Cincinnati played a game during the non-conference portion of the schedule outside of the city of Cincinnati, it was a road game at Howard. Think about the games that Cincinnati played against bigger opponents during the non-conference portion of its schedule. It played Dayton in downtown Cincinnati, lost that game. It went to Xavier across town in Cincinnati, lost that game. So this is the first time that Cincinnati is going on a legitimate road trip to a power conference opponent. They obviously went to Howard, won the game in overtime, but we're also going to find a lot about Cincinnati coming up on Saturday night in Provo. But I'll just tell you this. If you're a BYU fan right now and you're anxious and you're excited because you don't know what the future is going to look like over the next 2 months, you are better being in a position like BYU has today, where you're going to have a slew of quad 1 and 2 opportunities in front of you versus a team like Gonzaga and the position that they're in. And, you know, every Friday I do a bracket breakdown where I forecast the 68 teams that would be in the NCAA tournament that day. I was just going over my numbers for tomorrow as I prepare to write tomorrow's bracket. And how about this, guys? Gonzaga's next opportunity for a quad 1 win will be February 10th when it plays at Kentucky. I mean, that is what we're looking at right now for a team that has not missed the NCAA tournament since 1998. So while the road ahead is arduous for BYU, you are better being in this situation in a power conference than in a league like the WCC, which I don't want to take anything away from, has been a tremendous conference over the past couple of years. But given the fact that Gonzaga doesn't have a quad 1 win, given the fact that St. Mary's has been a disappointment, you're much better off being where BYU is than those other two teams that it was competing with for so many years atop the WCC.
CBS Sports College basketball analyst Jon Rothstein is with us on BYU Sports Nation. Okay, John, what's the realistic best case scenario and worst case scenario that you think BYU has specific to the Big 12? Like where would you put that window or maybe that fluctuation possibility for BYU?
Guys, I made myself a promise a long time ago that I'm never going to speculate on speculation. This is what I can tell you. When we have viewed BYU this year against elite competition based on who it's scheduled, it's done very, very well. It won the 2 games in Las Vegas. It lost a close game against Utah. It beat San Diego State. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. If BYU can be a dominant home team and win the majority of its home games, BYU will be in the 2024 NCAA tournament. And that's just a fact of life.
Aly Khalifa is leading the nation in assist to turnover ratio, and leading is probably an understatement. He is 14 to 1. Have you seen anything like that before,
Crazy.
let alone from a big man?
No, I have seen, obviously, different programs through my 20 years in covering college basketball at the national level have different high post options that really facilitated their offense. I remember Rick Pitino had a team at Louisville in 2008, lost to Tyler Hansbrough in North Carolina in the Elite Eight, but David Padgett was like a point center for them at the high post. But David Padgett did not have this type of assist to turnover ratio. And again, it goes back to making the right evaluations in the transfer portal. Mark Pope saw something in Aly Khalifa that he thought would translate to BYU's offense. And now with backdoor options, with dribble handoffs, this guy in about 2 weeks is going to be on the vernacular of pretty much everybody who is a college basketball junkie because of the impact he has on the game without demanding shots. You can't understand Aly Khalifa's, obviously, impact just by looking at his offensive numbers.
John, you mentioned BYU's balance. What's the most impressive aspect of the Cougars game aside from balance when you watch them play this season?
Well, you know, I think you have to look at college basketball today, and I think we have to understand, and the COVID year has had a big role in this, that you are not going to win at a high level with a large volume of freshmen. I mean, guys, look at UCLA right now. I mean, Mick Cronin has been one of the best coaches in college basketball for a long, long time. He's been to 12 straight NCAA tournaments, went to the Final Four a couple years ago. But UCLA is 7 freshmen. The thing that really gives me great optimism about BYU, even though it's stepping up a weight class in the Big 12, is that when I break down the core nucleus of this roster, the only guys who are not junior and seniors that are playing a lot of minutes are Dallin Hall and Richie Saunders.
They have certainly, and we heard this from Bill Self, maybe BYU's the hidden giant here because they've got so much experience. So there's a lot to that. Now, remind BYU fans where they can find more of your work because they're going to want more after this interview, John.
Well, you can follow me on Twitter. I'm at Jon Rothstein. That's John, Jon. I will obviously be on all season on both CBS Sports Network and CBS Sports. I'm also the host of the College Hoops Today podcast, the only college basketball podcast that comes to you 52 weeks out of the calendar year. I also am the author of The Breakfast Buffet, a daily column that gives you a table setting on everything that's going on in college basketball. That's at collegehoopstoday.net. And also, I'll also be creating content all season long for FanDuel as we get set to, again, have another tremendous run as we get set for the NCAA tournament coming up here in 2024.
Outstanding stuff. And hopefully you make it to the Marriott Center at some point this season, yeah?
We will see, guys. You know me. I'm like Stallone and Rambo too. I'm day by day.
Great stuff. Jon, thanks for the time, man.
Thanks, Jon.
All right, guys. We sleep in May.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we sleep in May.
We know that. That's when baseball, softball season ends.
It's
and
true.
men's volleyball.
We feel that to the core.
Yeah, that's absolutely right.